Hey everybody, welcome back to our page. So we're cooking again. It's Pantry Challenge Day 21 and we're doing steak and fries. Now that may sound like a weird combination because most people think of steak and potatoes, but we're just going to put our own little twist on steak and potatoes and do steak and fries. So I was had Alana go out to the outside freezer earlier and I knew that I had some kind of meat. I wasn't sure what kind. We've been out most of the day. The kids had their belt ceremonies for Taekwondo today, and Alana went from a orange belt to a yellow belt. She skipped a whole stripe, and then Jack went from a green advanced stripe to a blue belt. So the kids were moving right along, and so we had to be there pretty early this morning. And then when I got back, Harris Teeter had bottled waters on sale for $1.97. So we go through bottled waters quite a bit around here, so I wanted to make sure that I had some of that on hand because I could get 24 packs for less than $4. So I wanted to have that because we just bought bottled water this week. Then when I got back from doing that, I was just really wiped out from the day. It was like, oh my goodness, you know, what in the world? And on Friday nights, I'm trying to upload videos to my YouTube channel because really it seems like Mondays or Fridays are my best days for doing anything or just having a little bit of time. So I'm going to be actually shifting some days for uploading. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Pantry Challenge is cooking everything in your fridge, your freezer, your outside storage deep freezer if you have that, as well as your pantry. As much of the stuff as you have, you cook that and you try to get rid of all of the older foods, and then you try to clean out to make room for the newer things that you want to buy. So I had her go into the garage freezer because I knew we had this steak out there. I do want to add just a little bit of salt to my peppers and onions. What I got going on over here before I season my meat is I have a little bit of celery, I've got some purple onions, and I have some green bell pepper. So I've just added salt, black pepper, some steak seasoning, garlic, onion powder, and a little bit of salt. And then I'm just going to salt this piece of meat. Not a lot because there's already salt in the veggies and that's all going in. So I'm doing an all-in steak. I think this is a flank steak. You probably could use this for fajitas. I got it on a manager special from Food Line. I don't know when. It's been in the freezer for a good minute. We had to let it thaw, so it's been in there. This is just a little bit of Italian seasoning. I'm going to put, this is Sour's roast and prime rib rub. I always have a coupon for this and get it for like pennies really. So I want to, I not try to add it to as much meat as possible. I don't really think you have to add it to just pot roast. Bubba, will you get Mama just some water, please? Maybe a big cup would be good. A big cup would be good. Alright, so my meat is seasoned. I'm simply going to just put back all of my spices. And we're going to, I'm going to need this in a minute. Alright, so I've got this going. I want to give that a quick stir. I'm not trying to cook the veggies actually tonight. What I am trying to do is to just get them a little bit soft because it's going on top of the steak. So I've seasoned one side of my steak, and you just want to dump off the seasoning and make sure you season the back side because you want to give both sides of your meat some seasoning love. If you'll just sit it right over there for me, lovely, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. Hey Bree. So this is what we got going. We got the flank steak, and I'm just kind of putting a few little holes in it. You do not have to pierce your meat. Please, please, please remember this: to maintain the integrity of your meat, try to handle it as less as possible. Do what you need to do, but you don't have to do a whole lot to it, because if you do, it's going to really kind of make it a little bit tough. So now that this is kind of partially sauteed, I have some pre-cleaned shrooms, and I'm actually probably just going to wipe these off a smidge because they say pre-cleaned, but I don't want to soak them in water. So I'm just going to take my rag and I'm going to just dust them off a little bit to make sure there's not any leftover dirt or anything on the shrooms. So I'm going to actually end up putting this entire package of shrooms in there because, you know, mushrooms wilt down. It's kind of like spinach. It wilts down quite a bit. I'm just doing a rough rub, so, you know, it's not like perfectly, because they were already pre-cleaned, but you do want to make sure that you rub them just a little bit more. I'm not adding any more veggies into this, but I am going to add in some brown gravy. And I was very fortunate to be able to get gravy with coupons, and so that's what we're going to use. So if you've been following my journey for any length of time, you know I'm doing Weight Watchers points, and I'm very, very mindful of my points. And I say that after today, so stick with me for a second, and I'm going to tell you some things that happened earlier. So pretty much in this pan, what I have is green bell pepper, celery, purple onion, and mushrooms, all sauteed, just some salt and pepper, onion, garlic powder, and that's pretty much all that's there. Now, if you're frugal or if you need a time saver, I was just happened to be in the produce section because we needed some fresh fruit. We didn't have any left in the house, and I just so happened to go by and see that they had these clear plastic containers, and in this was sliced red onions for 87 cents. And it said sell by January 22nd, so that's tomorrow. So for 87 cents, it was already sliced. I didn't have to do any pre-slicing. And I looked at some of the other things that were pre-sliced, and because their due date was not coming soon, they were like $4 and $5. And I'm like, I could buy a whole bag of onions for $4 and $5. But for tonight, because it's already so late, I just chose to get those, and because they were 87 cents. So what I'm saying is always check your produce aisle to see if they have those, because not all of them are the expensive ones. Some of them are a little bit cheaper, only because of the sale date. You know how you go by the markdown bins and they have those bags of bananas? It's pretty much the same thing. So I added in 2 packets of the McCormick brown gravy, just using my garbage bowl there. And then I'm going to take my cup of water. Pretty much I'm going to be adding about 3 cups of water to this mixture. Can I get just a little more, Baba? Just a little hair more. I don't want this to boil. I've got my oven going at it's at 400 degrees. I don't want this to boil. I'm just trying to cook to dissolve the gravy. I don't want any gravy lumps or surprises when I go to bite down into my steak. So let me get back to Weight Watchers real quick. I am allotted 32 Weight Watchers points per day based on my weight, because I'm a woman, and my activity level. Just a hair more. I mean, he really got a hair. He wasn't playing with that, just a little hair. I'm like, ooh. So I ate a very sensible breakfast. I think my breakfast was like 7 points. So I had 25 points left for the day. But I knew that the kids were having their celebration, and there was gonna, y'all, really though, bruh, my children, Father, help them, Jesus. Thank you so much. That was amazing. You did so well. So I knew that I had 25 points left, and of course at every celebration we have food. But I made it up in my mind that I was not going to eat anything, because we were going to Krispy Kreme donuts, and we wanted to bring donuts. So of course another family actually came, and they were getting donuts too, and we had coupons, so we gave them some coupons as well. Anyway, so this is all nice and done for this portion. So it's going to cook for maybe about an hour. We're going to eat late, but I'm going to take this entire mixture and just put it over my steak. And then this is going to bake in my 400 degree oven for about an hour. And I may actually bump that up to about 425, just so I know that the steak is done. But it was not a very thick steak, but I didn't want to cook it on the stove simply because I've got some other stuff that I have to do and I can't really watch it. So anyway, this is going into a 400 degree oven. My onions, the peppers, the celery, the the mushrooms and the steak. Now, to that, I'm going to make some fries. So here are the Food Line fries, just a bag of crinkle cut. And we're going to just cut this open. And again, I was just walking in the grocery store and just happened to see that, I think it was, I'll do all of them. I can't remember which brand, but they had ranch French fries. So I've got my frozen French fries in this pan. I'm going to take my spray oil, because I'm not going to do any butter or any olive oil, and I'm just going to spray down the fries. And I'm only doing this to have a base layer for something for the ranch packet that I'm going to use to stick to. So I'm going to take this ranch packet and we're going to make our own ranch fries. I just think that the fries, and then to cut that steak up in little pieces and put it over top of your fries, that steak and the gravy, I feel like that'll just be so good and comforting. It's not cold here, but we are looking to have some weather tonight, and I just think that'll be good. That's just my personal opinion. Will you take that for me, lovely? And then if you'll take the trash, that would help mommy out so much. And then the cutter to the sink. Thank you. So this is just all I'm doing to this is I'm simply just moving the ranch around. I am trying to coat all the fries with this ranch dressing as much as I can. And you may want to just take your hands and get in there to make sure that all of your fries are getting coated. Some will get coated more than others. Now these fries for me and Weight Watchers points, 14 fries is 4 Weight Watchers points. So I could do 7 fries for 2 points, but I think I'm going to do the full Weight Watchers points. And now while I'm talking about the points, and I'm really just trying to get those all coated. Okay, so that looks coated nicely to me, and I'm going to grab some foil and I'm going to just line my pan because I just really don't want to have to deal with, you know, a lot of cleanup. So I've got my pan, I've got my foil. Just going to give that another quick spray so that nothing sticks. And I'm going to put this in the oven. These are called to cook at 450 for 12 to 18 minutes or something like that. But I'm going to cook them at 400 on the top rack for a little bit longer. For about, not quite as long as the steak will cook, but for a good amount of time. Because you want them to be crispy. I don't want them to be burned, but I do want them to be crispy. Give it one final spray and we're done. This is going into the oven as well. Alright, top rack is not closest to the heat. So back to the points. I had 25 points, but I knew that I wanted to have a snack with the kids. So we got 2 dozen donuts for the ceremony, and then we ended up getting a dozen for the house. And I knew that I could eat a donut because I had weekly points. Now every week Weight Watchers will give you, based on your weekly points, they'll give you a certain amount of weekly points you can use. You have daily points and weekly points. Your weekly points do not carry over. So for me, I have 42 weekly points, and because last Sunday we had church potluck, I used 12 of those 42 points. I had 30 points. And then I think one day this week I used 4 points. So I had 26 weekly points left. And I also have activity points because every time I work out, they give me points for working out. Now, normally I do not eat or consume my activity points or my weekly points, but I knew today was coming up. So I already researched it, and for the cream-filled chocolate donut, it was 9 points. So I had 2 donuts, which was 18 points. And then I had a half a donut, which was 4.5 points. So 22.5 points of my 25 points went to donuts today. But I have 26 weekly points, so I am going to have dinner. I did not have lunch, as far as lunch is concerned, at the program, I just had some fruit. I didn't eat anything else, no chips. I didn't have drink. I just had some water and I had a little bit of fruit. So I got in that today, and fruit is free. So with our dinner tonight, I'm counting 4 points for 14 fries. And I still have 2 points for today. So I'm going to dip into Weeklies for 2 points. And then whatever my steak is, because I'm only going to have about 2 ounces of steak. So I didn't look that up ahead of time. But I'm going to show you one quick snack. And for 0 points, I'm going to take my cucumber. Use my garbage bowl. Thank you, Rachel Ray. Has anybody seen Rachel Ray lately? I ain't seen Rachel, but you can hear it from me. Okay. And I'm just going to shave. You do not have to shave your cucumber. If you want the fiber from the skin, that's perfectly fine. It's just not my favorite. So I am actually going to grab me a plate. This paper towel is not working for my life. So I'm simply just going to cut off the outside skin of my cucumber, throw it into my garbage bowl, and then I'm going to cut my cucumber into 4s. So if you really want something for a crunch and you want just a bite, because I gotta have something, and I don't like the middles, so I'm gonna pull that out. I know I probably should eat that. I'll eat it tonight. I'll eat it. It'll be okay. It's not bad. Just the texture of it for me sometimes is not my fave, because I have texture issues. Y'all should pray for me. Not gonna eat a tomato ever unless it's sun-dried and half baked on something. I will eat tomato sauce if it's in spaghetti, but I will not eat it if it is not. Okay, so there's the rest of my garbage. I'm gonna split this in 4s again, just like I did the other one. Now, I already know that 2 ounces of this ham turkey, this is turkey, Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh Mesquite turkey, 2 ounces of this turkey is 1 point. So I'm going to measure out 2 ounces. Can I have a paper plate, lovely? Which is probably for me between 5 to 8 slices, because that's what it's been being. And I'm gonna measure it out on my handy dandy old school, y'all, for real, food scale. But that's okay. I'm believing the Lord for a new one, because my birthday coming in a few weeks. And I said 2 ounces, right? Oh, there we go, 2 ounces. So 2 ounces of this is 1 point. My cucumber is 0 points. And then, what was that, 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of hummus? 2 tablespoons of hummus is 2 points. So I'm getting ready to give myself 3 points. And this is a half a tablespoon. But I'm going to be okay with it as well, because I want a little bit of a snack before dinner is ready. The kids had a little snack. So I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to make a cucumber wrap. So if you're doing Weight Watchers points and you do the full 2 tablespoons, which I'm not sure that I will do. I may only do 1 tablespoon because I don't need. This is just classic hummus. We scanned it in our iTrack Bites. So that's 1 tablespoon. And that's 2 tablespoons. 2 Weight Watchers points. 2 ounces of turkey is 1 Weight Watcher point. And my cucumber is free. Okay. Here, lovely, will you take all this for me? So we can make sure our kitchen is clean. All right. Put that up, all done. Now, to assemble this, I'm going to see. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 8 cucumbers. So I may not be able to do 8. But I'm going to take my meat, take a little bit of my hummus, and spread. And then I'm going to take my cucumber and wrap. So that's 1. And I'm going to do this a couple more times to just have a light snack. Whoop. And wrap. Now you could do this with the hummus, you could do this with the Laughing Cow cheese, you could do this with fat-free cream cheese if that's what you like, or you can add something to your cream cheese if you're into sriracha or something like that, or you want it a little more spicy. You could add in some taco seasoning. That's not a whole, well, that is a whole piece, but it's kind of broken, but that's okay. It's still gonna eat just fine. And then you're gonna have a couple of cucumbers left over to crunch on or munch on, and then you have a perfectly good snack for 3 Weight Watchers points, and you're kind of held over a little bit. If you have some fruit, like I actually have some oranges and some bananas, which fruit is totally 100% 0 points. I've got a little bit of the hummus left, and since I'm counting 2 points of this, I'm going to put it on my plate because I'm counting the points. So if I want a banana, I could do a banana on the side, I could do an orange on the side, or whatever. So we have taken our steak and fries out of the oven, and we just want to show you what we came up with and how we're going to plate this. This is our steak, and when I put it in, it was in 1 piece. So of course we have the onions, and you can see all the shrooms and the peppers and the celery. And I know it's got the garlic. So what I did was I took my knife and my fork and I just began to shred it this way and just cut that steak into pieces. Now this did not shred. I did have to cut it. So of course, you know, cut against the grain so you're not cut across the bias so you're not getting the tough parts of your meat. And then that's what you're going to end up with, this nice gravy and these little bits of steak. Now my daughter does not like steak, so she may not have any of this, which is totally fine. She does not have to have any of this, but my son will. And so here are our fries. We baked those in the oven at 400 degrees, probably for about an hour. So we did some just some butter spread, or not butter spread, but oil spray oil, and then we put the ranch dressing on top of it. So we're just going to show you how a plate for me would look. 14 fries is 14 fries is 4 Weight Watcher points. 3 ounces of the steak is 3 ounces of the steak is 3 Weight Watchers points, and then a 1/4 cup of the gravy is 1. So I'm gonna do 8 points tonight. I have 2 left of my daily points, and I'm gonna pull 6 out of my weekly points, simply because I had donuts today, but it was a day to celebrate. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so this is what my plate is going to look like, and I'm going to count these fries. Yes, I am, without that fork. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One got stuck. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Just so you know, my feelings are totally hurt that that's all I can have, but that's all I'm gonna have. And let me grab my measure cup. I'm hoping I have one in here. This is okay, because I want to be true to, okay, I used my plate from earlier. I want to be true to the 3 ounces of the meat. I'm gonna measure, right? Got to be true to the measurement of the meat. And I'm going to hold on to the plate just so it doesn't go tumbling down. Okay, so this is 3 ounces. And that's all I'm going to have. So that, I think this is a 3rd measure cup here. So that's all I'm going to have. So 3 ounces of the steak is 3 points. A 1/4 cup of the gravy is 1 point. The veggies are no points. That's probably more veggies than meat. Let me check. Gotta check, because if I'm gonna give myself one, absolutely, that's all veggies. There's no meat. So I'm going to take my veggies and put them over my fries, and then measure out 3 ounces of meat if I can do it. Put that one back on to measure it. But if you like fries with gravy, then certainly try it. Some people do. Some people like cheese on their fries. And remember that the veggies are no points. So what I'm trying to do now is grab out just the meat to measure out 3 ounces of meat. That's 2 1/2. Maybe one more piece. And just a tiny piece. 3 ounces. So that's steak. Everything that you see here is just veggies. So that was not 3 ounces of meat. That was just veggies, which is 0 points. So that gives me 3 ounces of meat, which is 3 points. A 1/4 cup of the gravy, which there may be a little bit more of the gravy in there, which is 1 point. And then 14 fries, which is 4 points. So that's going to be my meal for 8 Weight Watcher points. And that's what we got for dinner. So thank you so much for joining us. We are enjoying the pantry challenge. I actually have been working in my bedroom doing some reorganization in there. You may see some pictures up later. But thank you so much for stopping by. If you like our video, give us a thumbs up. We hope to see you again the next time we cook. Bye.